Hi everyone, my name is Chantel and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to make my very first posable miniature doll in 1/12 scale. On screen right now you can see what kind of materials I'm going to use and I will list them down below as well. The creature that I'm going to create today joins in with the fairy door that I made last Wednesday. So you can guess it, I'm going to make a fairy. This is, however, my very first doll that I'm creating. So be kind to me. Please enjoy my process because I am just here to share my journey with you. And of course, to have fun creating. The materials that I will be using for this video and for the creation of this doll are polymer clay. I use Super Sculpting original, faux fur yarn, lace, doll's hair, sculpting tools, and blanket batting. I start off by cutting the batting into thin strips and roll them up so I can use them for my doll. I made this little stick figure from pipe cleaners and I'm going to show you how I did this. It is about 12 centimeters long or 4 3/4 inch. You take 2 pipe cleaners, whichever color really. I just have a bag of black ones. And you twist them together. And that's basically all you do for the pipe cleaner part. And then you start measuring out how long and how tall you want everything to be. For my figurine, she would be in real life 1 meter and 45 centimeters, which is really tiny. And then in miniature, she would, in 1/12 scale, she would be about 12 centimeters or 4 3/4 inches. Now let's start off with the head. I have a little ball of polymer clay here and I'm just showing you the dimensions just in case you want to make one for yourself. It is just under 1 inch or about 2 centimeters. The first thing I'm going to do to the face is give it a bit more of an oval shape and then mapping out where I want all the features to be. The cross in the middle is basically where the eyes are gonna be, and that's what I'm pushing out now, the eye sockets. By tilting the ball stylus, I can give the eye sockets more like an almond shape. For the eyeballs themselves, I want them to be black, and I'm pushing in these pre-baked polymer clay balls into the eye sockets. From a thin snake of clay, I'm cutting out 1 centimeter long strips, and from them I'm going to create the eyelids. Put the snake of clay next to the eyeball and then blend them out with a blending tool. And the same for the bottom eyelid. And this is what the face looks like so far. Cut out a rectangle which I placed over the bottom of the face, put in a line where I want the mouth to be, and start attaching the lips with thin snakes of clay, blending them in and sculpting as I go. This small ball of clay is going to be the chin, and I'm just going to blend in the sides so it's one with the face. Attaching the top lip here, which I'm doing the same for as the bottom lip. Moving on to the nose, this is just a very long thin strip of clay, and the cheeks as well, blending the cheeks in, basically the cheekbones, not the complete cheeks, but just the cheekbones to give her face more definition. And then blending in the sides of the nose as well. Instead of just a pouty mouth, let's give her a little bit more definition in the lips, so I'm giving her a slight smile on her face. I want to make her forehead a little bit bigger, so I'm just adding a piece of clay and another piece of clay because I was still not happy with it, and just keep building up until I'm happy with what she looks like. From that second piece of clay that I added to her forehead, I can then also shape her eyebrows. And this is what the face looks like so far. These two little balls of clay will be her hands, which are 1 centimeter or just under ½ an inch. Flattening them out into flat ovals. And then cutting the fingers where I want them to be. And this is the most fiddly part of everything, and that is shaping the fingers. So basically you separate them and then you roll them in between two fingers, your own fingers, to make them round and a little bit longer. Then I'm shaping them the way I want them. With the flat round back of a skewer, I am just shaping in some nails. Of course, she needs a thumb as well, so I'm adding that now. This is the final look of the hand before baking. And here's the head and the hands fresh out of the oven after baking. Time to assemble her, the most exciting part of everything. I am adding some Fabri-Tac glue to the pipe cleaners and then attaching the head and the hands. This is the part where I'm going to use the batting material to bulk her up a little bit. I am attaching the batting material with Fabri-Tac glue and just bulk her up till I am happy with what she looks like. And this is as much as I'm bulking her up because I'm going to cover her with the fur. Before I'm going to do that, however, I'm going to paint her face antique white and adding some black as well for the details, and these are all acrylic paints. When I made the fairy portal, I wanted to create a moth-like creature with this portal to go with the portal. I don't know why, it just was in my head. So that's what I'm doing here. She is going to be a moth fairy. Her hands will be partially black because I want to give it that creepy factor. Also, her hands are slightly bigger than they should be, but she is a moth, so she is basically an insect. And when she is landing somewhere, like on a wall, she needs to be able to grapple. Her eyes are going to be even more black, with little black drips coming from the in and the outside of her eyes. If you didn't know it yet, I just recently started a second channel called The Raven Compendium. This is where I do unboxings, vlogs, journal making, art supply reviews and many more things. So head on over to that channel if you're interested in that. I will leave a link in the iCard section and in the description box below. And for her lips, I'm going to keep it simple and just put black in the cracks of her lips. And then I'm moving on to some detailing on her face, which is a crescent moon and some dots. Of course, as with every creature, I need a name for her. I don't want to call her Luna, because Luna is for me a Luna Lovegood from the Harry Potter franchise. Give me something nice and original, but also mystical for her. What I'm doing here is adding lace to her hands, just to give it a little bit more interest and make it look like she's wearing gloves. Then moving on to the body, I'm going to cover her entire body with this fluffy faux fur fabric. What I am doing is putting on some Fabri-Tac glue either on our body or on the fabric, because it has a flat back, so it attaches really evenly and nicely, and then wrapping it around her body. And this is what she looks like so far. She looks a bit like a Yeti, but that will change. With some floral wire that I've twisted together, I'm going to go around her arms and twisting it at the back so I can attach the wings later on. I didn't show you the process of this one because I was completely out of frame. But it's basically wrapped around her arms and then onto the back and twisted together. And this is what she looks like with her arms covered in the fur as well. And then onto the trimming. When I trim this fur down, it leaves behind a darker tone that is underneath all that white. And that is actually the perfect moth-like color. These are the cutoffs of all that trimming, and this is her body so far. These are her antennae, and I am going to place these on her head after attaching her hair. It is a pipe cleaner with some fluffy yarn wrapped around it. I made some holes in her head just with an X-Acto knife, and this is where I can glue in the antennae. This is a weft of hair that I ordered from AliExpress, and it's absolutely stunning, but the material it is sewn onto is very stiff to work with, so I'm going to cut off some of the hair and make my own hair wefts with some PVA glue. This way it is thinner and easier to apply to the head. For her wings, I decided to go with a dusty pink lace. I need some floral wire, which I'm getting 2 threads from and then twisting them together and then tracing the wing pattern that I cut out of paper. I apply Fabri-Tac glue to the metal and then putting the lace on top. I trim off the excess of the lace, letting just a little bit overhang so I can glue that down on the wire. And this is what the lace wing looks like, and I absolutely love how this turned out. To make the wing look more worn and aged, I'm going to apply some distress ink by Ranger in the color Gathered Twigs. Remember the metal wire that I attached before? I cut off the excess and now I'm going to twist them into little loops so I can attach the wings to it. As you can see, I also attached some of the fluffy yarn to her moth wings at the top, so they really look like moth wings. I think my favorite part of this whole doll must be her wings. Now the hair is dry, I can cut off the excess of the glue and glue the wefts of hair to her head. I trim off the excess and sculpt her hair a little bit more. I braided her hair so it looks a bit more fairy-like. And of course I could not forget the antennae. Now let's have a good look at her in her final setting. And that's it for my very first doll creation. I really like how dark and mysterious she turned out. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out. Make sure to check out my socials and consider supporting me on Patreon. And if you're new here, welcome. Please don't forget you can click the subscribe button to become part of the Raven family. Thanks so much for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.